Hey, what's going on, everybody? So this week, the NFL Combine is happening. And with this happening, there's been a couple things that came out this morning. The Packers have actually met with two wide receivers who are projected to be drafted in the first round, which I do find a little bit interesting considering the Packers haven't used first-round draft picks on wide receiver in a very, very long time. And that's been a discussion the past few seasons. You know, the Packers need to come in and draft a wide receiver in the first round, which I think would be nice, would be beneficial, but it's not necessarily necessary. But here we have, first off, from Mike Clemens, NFL on Twitter, Alabama receiver Jameson Williams says his first two interviews yesterday were with the Bills and Packers. I run great routes. I have speed you can't see. Says he's been walking around the past 2 weeks without a brace after suffering a torn ACL in national championship. So the Packers have met with Jameson Williams, who, according to PFF, is their third receiver, ranked 17th overall out of their entire draft board. And when you watch this guy, he has insane speed. He's an insanely great deep threat, but he did tear his ACL in the national championship game for Alabama. So that's the only problem. Maybe one reason he's dropped down the draft boards a little bit from maybe where he was a few months ago. So with him, if he were to come in to Green Bay, or I guess just coming into the NFL at all, he is probably going to take a while to heal from that injury, and he could come later in the 2022 season. But if the Packers were able to add him, honestly, that would be awesome to be able to add Jameson Williams. The Packers do have some uncertainties at wide receiver right now, which I think will be solved for the most part in a few weeks. Of course, with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, hopefully their situations getting worked out. But Marcus Valdes-Scantling is a free agent. Allen Lazard is a restricted free agent. Equanimeous St. Brown is a free agent. So I made a prediction a few weeks ago that I thought the Packers would draft a wide receiver in the second round, but maybe with them interviewing with two potential first-round prospects, maybe they decide this is the year they finally decide to come in and draft a wide receiver in the first round. I wouldn't be opposed, to be completely honest. Then we have the next guy that I saw. So from Acme Packing Co. on Twitter, says Ohio State wide receiver Chris Olave said he had a great meeting with the Packers on Monday evening, said there was great energy in the meeting, and he would love to be a part of a legendary organization. So Chris Olave, PFF ranks him as their fourth wide receiver in this draft class, 19th overall. So with him being 19th overall, with Jameson Williams being 17th overall, depending on who you ask, that could fluctuate a little bit. But that begs the question, with the Packers being at 28, will they move up to draft either of these guys? Or maybe one of these guys will fall to them, at the end of the first round. That is a question that I have. How bad do the Packers want these guys if they do want them? Of course, there are so many different interviews that happen. Last year, the Packers had tons of interviews over Zoom, and they didn't draft lots of those guys. So just because they interview someone clearly doesn't mean they're necessarily going to go after them. But I am curious how badly they would want one of these guys if they do have their eyes on them, if they would be willing to trade up or not. Here's a little excerpt from PFF. As you can see, 6'1", 188. One of the best route runners in college football, Olave is one of the most consistent downfield threat in the class. In total, 13 of his 65 catches ended in scores last season. So if the Packers do bring back Devontae Adams, which I expect is going to happen, that's my personal opinion. The question is, will we keep Marcus Valdes-Scantling? I don't know. I think that if we were to lose him, it would make even more sense to draft a guy like Jameson Williams, who is that deep threat. Chris Olave, also good downfield, but there's no question Jameson Williams is the number one deep threat in the class. If the Packers were to lose Marcus Valdes-Scantling, I do think drafting Jameson Williams would be a very, very good idea to be able to have a guy with the speed he has and the deep threat ability to come in there and replace Marcus Valdes-Scantling. Could be a smart move. So definitely interesting that the Packers have interviewed these two guys, and I'll keep you guys up to date on all Packers news that's coming out this week in the next few weeks. So subscribe to the channel if you guys have yet to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.